The Job Guys. What the world isn't watching.
What's happening, everybody? The Job Guys back with you one more time. Nitro, Nick is here. Ryan is here as well. And it is Mania season, Nick. It is Mania season. And as always, we do our Run It Back shows where we look back at the golden age of the WWE. And what a better one to do than this one right here. WrestleMania 4. And we were thinking, because we were kids when this came out, we liked this pay-per-view for numerous reasons. But you go back in time, and this is one that really gets dogged on.
Thing sucks!
No matter, other people have done reviews, and you can read them, or YouTube videos, podcasts. People just absolutely hate this show. And while I don't absolutely love it like I did as a kid, I know this is still one of your favorites.
It is.
And there are so many good things about it that you don't hear about. So here's what we decided. Since everything you're ever going to hear about WrestleMania 4 is how terrible it is, we said, let's do the top 10 reasons why WrestleMania 4 doesn't suck. Why do you think it gets such the hate that it does get? Before we get into the reasons why it does.
I think you could go on several reasons, right? I think the rewriting of Hulk Hogan's history plays into a lot of it. You know, he's the worst of all time, Ryan. Yeah. He never did anything right. He only did it for him. You know, the constant rewriting and the hatred now of Hogan that certainly was not there in 1988, Ryan. The other idea is you got people who are comparing it. They're like against WrestleMania 40 or 39 or 30. I mean, it's a completely different era. We're running 12, 15 pay-per-views an era. The match quality has changed. And I don't even want to say quality. The match expectations have changed. Because it was different in 88 than it was in 94. And, you know, I think it just continuously evolves. Who's the greatest NBA ball player of all time? How are you comparing Pistol Pete Maravich and like Steph Curry? Right. Like, how is that even? There wasn't a 3-point line, right? Like, I mean, it just people, I think the comparison of putting it on a scale of what you want to see today is not a great way to look at WrestleMania 4.
Yeah, everybody's looking now for every match needs to be Undertaker HBK. Every match needs to be Steamboat Savage. And there wasn't even Steamboat Savage until the year before this, you know?
Right.
So, but yeah, you hear people say there's too many matches, and maybe there is. They say the matches are too short. They have bad finishes. And then, like you said, the Hogan haters now. He stole Macho's thunder. No, they were building a story. He was out there helping his boy.
The good guy wins.
But yeah, we're going to talk about the 10 reasons as we run WrestleMania 4 back, why this thing doesn't suck. And to me, it was really cool because every single Mania was different to this point. You know, the first one was the first one. Obviously, it was different than anything because it's the first one. Second one, okay, we're going to 3 different locations. The third one, we are going to the biggest location we can possibly go to. What can we do different this time?
Excellent question.
You have a tournament for the belt. Never seen that before, you know? So let's get into it right now. Top 10 reasons why WrestleMania 4 doesn't suck.
Right.
Beginning where else, but at number 10. Nick, what do you got?
The commentary, right? Gorilla and Jesse are just amazing. And I've said this to you, me and you have talked. The opposite of subtitles would be what I could do with them. I could listen to WrestleMania 4 driving down I-75, you know, and
without
just listen to these guys talk and build these characters. And I could probably picture what's going on in my head due to their commentary, also how many times I've seen it. But, you know, and they play off each other so incredibly well. And they don't look to oust each other and one-up each other. Here's a softball, Jesse. Hit it out of the park. And these dudes, Ryan, were big people back then to us. The announce team, I think far more important, or at least did so much more back then, is selling. I mean, how good's Coco Beware? How good's Rick the Model Martel? I don't know that they're that great as far as, but these guys made me believe they were, and they were over, and they were top stars. But all the way through this night, Ryan, they are selling guys. They are having a great time. We'll talk later when we even get people that join them. And it just, to me, it's the pinnacle. These are the two greatest voices. And are we biased from our times? Sure, we all are. But I think we have enough juice to back up with these guys and how they put guys over, especially compared to how we get guys over today, and announcers bickering on the table, announcers trying to one-up each other on the table, announcers going into business for themselves more often than they did in the past. These guys were the pinnacle of, if I had to walk out, paste white snow horts here, I want Gorilla Monsoon getting me over, and he would. He would make it sound like I could get in there and fight with Hulk Hogan.
Well, and people forget, that is what the commentary is there to do. They are to get guys over, and they are there to get the angle over. Yes. That's the only reason what they are there for. Those things. And nobody did it better than those two. And Gorilla's very polarizing, especially in today's day and age. People like us liked him a lot. Older people did not like him, and they think he's terrible. And he did have some things we always make fun of. It's a happening. At the beginning of WrestleMania 4 and 3 and 2 and what I think he says, it's a happening, the greatest wrestling extravaganza of all time, like 15 times in the first 5 minutes of the show.
It is a happening.
And whether you think he's polarizing or not, the other guy is not. Jesse Ventura is the best that's ever done it on the color commentary. And I think if you have any other person, like, maybe I'll listen for a second, but I don't think there's any argument. This is the greatest guy that ever did it. And then when you talk about their chemistry together, I mean, you can't top it. And they come out swinging right out of the gate, which we will talk about in a minute with the Battle Royal. The commentary is so good. And like you said, they're getting guys like Sika over and all these other dudes who you shouldn't really care about. And they're getting them over. They are so good, man. They make everything seem like happening.
I don't understand how people can say he says how often do they drive stuff down our throats today?
Well,
everything needs to be done 45 times. Even
but it
give
works.
Jesse the spotlight, don't they, Ryan, for a minute? I mean, when's the last time? I think him posing went down a lot. That went down a lot. I'd rather watch that again than the coal miner match.
That tells you how over that guy is. The fact that they stopped the show to let him pose for 5 minutes.
You got it.
Yeah, they're over, man. And they're absolutely great. My favorite pairing of all time, Gorilla and Jess, no doubt about it, man. How about number 9, Nick? We kind of just made mention of it. Go ahead. What is the 9th reason this show doesn't suck?
The Battle Royal, man. I think it's the best Battle Royal in the history of WrestleMania. I don't know, even the Rumbles, the finish, look at the guys that got over. Bret Hart kind of gets a little, I'm not going to say it's the ultimate moment for him, because it certainly is not, but it puts him on a pace as this dude is a single star. Huge boost for Bad News, who then's going to go on and feud, I believe, against Hogan and Warrior. Macho, and eventually I think Warrior, doesn't he get a title match against Warrior at some time? Maybe not, but he gets some big he becomes kind of a big name, and the Battle Royal is actually loaded as far as stars in there. You've got the Hart Foundation, who might be one of the biggest tag teams in the history of wrestling there. You know, you got Killer Bees, who are legendary, and then key legendary figures. You say what you want about the JYD, and maybe he was coming down, and we all know
that guy was massive.
He had demons, which he had to fight, but he was over.
But you didn't know that, though. You didn't know that back then. We know it now, 30 years later.
And my goodness, Ryan, go back and watch it when he comes. I don't care where it is, where he's at. The place explodes every time that dude came out. People loved him. Harley Race, declining, but still Harley Race is in the Battle Royal. Hillbilly
7-time champ.
A legendary gimmick. George the Animal Steel.
Over.
And the finish is great. The whole animal incident with Anvil is great. You got the bees flipping over the ropes for everybody that loves that. I just thought it's a really well done Battle Royal. And look at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royals, Ryan. Other than Jey Uso, who has really skyrocketed off of winning one of those? And I don't even think that was that. that got Uso over. It was the bloodline Roman angle. Look at the other Andre. I mean, Cesaro dropped the ball, whatever. Big Show, with Mojo, didn't he win one? I think.
Yeah, he did.
These guys, not a lot. Both of these dudes went on to get pretty high level players in the WWE.
Yeah, I think the finish really does it. I love smashing the trophy. They made that trophy sound like it's the greatest thing of all time. Look how big it is and all that. Bad News was brand new to the territory. He was over. This got him over. Brett was coming off a year run with the tag belts. The Hart Foundation, that whole thing with Danny Davis, they were super over. And you mentioned all the big guys. I think there was a good mix between younger and older guys. JYD being in there at the end was great. And then even if you didn't like those guys, you were entertained by the commentary again during. I mean, this is just pure comedy, man. This is awesome. It's so good. It is so good all throughout. Bob Uecker is in there. He's hilarious. He and Jesse going back and forth, ripping on each other, talking about his horrible baseball career and all that is absolutely funny. So if you're out there and you're going, yeah, I don't care about Boris Zukov and Sika, well, these guys are keeping you entertained throughout the. I mean, it's like watching Comedy Central, man. It's great. It's awesome. And they do get the guys over as well. And then smashing the trophy's cool. I thought it was very entertaining. I think it's great. It was big because it was something for these guys to do who weren't in the tournament. And the way, once again, the commentary propped this up, they made this seem like it was a big deal to be in this very prestigious battle royal. You get an 8-foot trophy and all that. Like, they made it sound like, oh man, whoever wins this is going to be a big deal. And
remember,
it worked for me. It worked on me.
We're coming off of a trophy incident a year earlier, where they gave Andre the little baby trophy and Hogan the bigger, so trophies were kind of still a thing back then.
Yep. I think it's great, man. I think what a way to kick off the show, man. I thought it was great. Number 8, reason why this show doesn't suck, Nick.
The Demolition, baby. They don't get I know people do acknowledge them. I still don't think they get enough credit for being where I think they should be ranked, and you're going to hear it. I am biased. People, they are my favorite WWE WWF tag team of all time. And for everybody that talks Golden Age, this is the Golden Age. They dominated it. They were over. They took on the Hearts. They took on the Bees. They took on the Rougeaus. They took on Strike Force.
The greatest era of tag team wrestling of all time,
and this is
as far as big name teams.
And this is their jump, and the match is really, again, is it a tag team match for today? No, please don't compare it. It's not Jeff Hart. It's not the Hardys and the Dudleys. Okay, that's not what we didn't have that.
Their name is Demolition.
Right.
Which means they just come in and smash you. And that's what they did. The one guy's name is literally Smash.
Smashed them.
They just pound you, dude.
And that's what they did. And that's what, go back and watch. Like, it's funny. You can watch this match. It's no different than any match that's taking place on any federation back then that could happen anywhere else. It's a good match. I think a great finish. X hits him right, and the Smash covers him for the win. It's a great one, and it sets up, again, another match that's going to take place or a moment on WrestleMania 5 between Strike Force, and the Demos, who's still tag team champs at WrestleMania 5? The Demos.
This starts their run. This is the start of their
and that's why I
run.
think it is. As 84 Sheik Hogan was to Hulk, obviously not as big, but this is to the Demos. This is their moment in time where the Demo Mania, if you will, starts.
They jump to the top.
And it's a really good match for 1988 tag team.
Yeah, absolutely. So like we said, you got the bigger guys who just get in there and brawl with you. And then you had two really good workers that could fly around a little bit. Martel could fly around. He was good wrestler, technical wrestler. And then you had Tito, who could fly around, not like today's flyers, as you said. But they could get tossed around by these guys a little bit. And I thought it was great, man. I thought, and you look at it, now 36 years later, this was the start. This is what they had already been undefeated there for a little bit through 87. But then, okay, now we're getting the run with the belt. They went 15 months that wasn't broken until a couple of years ago. So
they were getting pushed. They only had a couple of losses, and I think they were earlier the year or may have been non-televised.
Not on TV. Yeah,
but they were not. I mean, they were beating people like the Bees, like the Rougeos. They were beating all the the undercard B teams, and now they got a shot at the titles. And they this is their jump, man. Like you said, this is the start.
Yep. Awesome. Many people think it could be the match of the night. Now, that's not saying a lot because, again, there's not a million Savage Steamboat matches on this show, but it is a good, entertaining match, no doubt. Number 7, Nick.
If you like promos, Ryan. Hulk Hogan, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, and I know Brutus is the worst wrestler of all time.
Yeah.
After
Absolutely terrible. Never did a thing.
Yeah, just watch the crowd, when he enters through the rest of 88. They hated him.
He's really getting booed out there, fellas.
Oh, yeah. And their promos, they are so hyped up. So, and now, again,
might be cocaine fueled. I have no idea, but.
Right, it might be. At least they didn't cry. They're good promos. I mean, they were funny. That's how they were back then too, Ryan. We all weren't looking for a kayfabe. What's he gonna say that we don't know from the internet? These were not. Put these promos up against other people's promos back then. Hulk Hogan goes off on, I don't know, saving us after the world tears apart, right?
Yeah, there's going to be an earthquake or something, and he's got to save Donald Trump from drowning, and he's going to backstroke up the Mississippi or something. It's hilarious.
It's hilarious. And Beefcake, he's just going nuts in his outfit. And Mean Gene, I'll let you the comment. Right.
He looks at Brutus, who is recently getting a big push here, and he walks in, and he's got his pink pants on, who have the holes in them, as they always do. I think Jesse used to say, looks like a grenade went off in his pocket or something like that. And he walks up to Brutus and goes, Brutus looks down basically at his waist and says,
Brutus, this is incredible. What a package.
What a package.
What a package.
And, Ryan, correct me.
What a package.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I did not know this until you told me, actually, years later. Brutus was out of the WWE. He was brought in kind of as a Chip and Dale type dancer.
That was supposed to be, he was supposed to be.
Because I thought he was just a bad haircut barber, and he cut his pants. Like that was that little horse thing. I'm like, this dude just wears crazy things because he cuts up. He's just a crazy barber. That's what I and that's why he shreds his shirts and things like that. Yeah. I didn't know that.
He was supposed to be like a male stripper.
And he had a package.
I didn't see this until just actually a few years ago. Some God bless whoever did this. But like before Superstars and Challenge, it was Championship Wrestling and like All American Wrestling. And somebody put them all online. And it goes way too long. At least like a 5 to 10 minute vignette where they go to the strip club with Brutus and he's dancing on stage, and they do. And this man has no rhythm whatsoever. He has the least amount of rhythm you've ever seen from anybody. And the whole thing is literally playing an entire routine of him standing up on stage doing his thing. Like, okay, there it is. Then
he was in the WWE or WWF
yeah,
at
dude.
the time?
I sent it to you a couple years ago.
I thought they were the Cartoon Network, man.
Well, what a package.
What a package.
Well, anyway, Hogan too, dude. Hogan for like maybe the first of like 10,000 times later, he's got the fee-fi-fo.
Which he took to WCW. He used on the Paul Wright.
Big, stinky, wart-infested giant.
Fee-fi-fo. Such a big dum-dum.
Yeah. Oh, He loves saying that with any giant.
Oh God, yes, he does.
Oh my gosh. But no, the whole and he starts with Andre.
Yes.
And then he just veers off into saving the world and Donald Trump's going to drown, brother. Like, what are you talking about?
It's on our planet, but it's very Ultimate Warrior-y. It's but he's still not gone to those parts unknown,
right.
It's out there. But again, man, watch it. Go into it not thinking I'm going to hate WrestleMania 4, going into it with an open mind, saying I'm going to have fun watching WrestleMania 4. These are two great promos, Ryan, and two dudes that, I'm sorry, you can hate Hogan, you can hate the Barber, but they're probably two of the top 5 faces in wrestling at that, or maybe at least Barber's top 10, Hogan's 1.
Yeah, and Brutus by 89 when he's tagging with Hogan, he's the number 2 babyface in the company.
He's huge.
I don't want to hear any different. I'm like, maybe Warrior 2, but yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, but yeah, he's just as big as any, he could co-main event. He obviously did co-main event pay-per-view things with Hogan,
And he would have won the IC belt in 90, except then he got his face smashed. And Hogan is the only person ever in wrestling who's hired his friends and all of them. Yeah. Nobody on Wednesday ever did that whatsoever.
What's your name? I don't care. Shut your mouth.
Yeah.
Anything else on the interview? And it's not just those two. Those two stand out because of the goofiness. But
right,
every
but
interview with Mean Gene is great. You
can go back to the
Uecker as well.
The Islanders and Heenan have a pretty funny interview on this as well. They had just recently kidnapped Matilda, and Heenan is in a dog catcher suit, is what they build it as.
Bite-proof suit.
Yeah, it's funny to anything with Heenan is
and anything
funny.
On the Coliseum video, because if you watch on Peacock, it's not the same as Coliseum, and Coliseum has other stuff too.
25 minutes cut out.
Yeah, there's extra, like they interview $1 Million Man before the first match in his hotel room. There's tons of stuff like that on there too. That all the behind the scenes stuff that they don't do anymore because now they have like the movie trailers before every match. I missed the old interviews right before the match.
Oh, man, I didn't even think that would be great. I hope they do catching guys and gals as they come out of the hotel. Like that's where you would really catch athletes coming out, trying to get an interview. That'd be great if they redo that stuff again today.
It was awesome, dude. It was awesome. Speaking of great backstage interviews and all that, number 6 had a little bit to do with that. To me, I could make a great argument that he's the greatest celebrity in WrestleMania history. Number 6, Nick.
Bob Uecker. Bob Uecker is the greatest celebrity in WrestleMania history. He's there for not only 2 of them, 2 big ones, and he is involved in the show, Ryan. He is, not only does his commentary on the Battle Royal is freaking gold, he's searching for Vanna all night. Vanna White all night. I mean, and Ryan, one of the greatest WrestleMania. If you do a WrestleMania promo package, who's Andre choking? It ain't Hogan.
Once again, the backstage interviews, and with him, and he puts, awesome. He chokes Uecker. It was so good. And he had an interview with Demolition, I believe, as well. I mean, dude, that stuff was so good. And the Andre one's legendary.
Ultimania is over.
And he keeps going all through the night. I mean, they cut back to him constantly, almost after every other match. He's involved. He's involved in the main event as he walks out with Vanna. I mean, not necessarily in the main event, but Bob Uecker, you couldn't ask for a better guy on commentary, a better guy to do interviews. This guy, it seems like, I mean,
he is a commentator, so it worked. I mean, he's been doing Milwaukee Brewers games for like 60 years, and he's so good, and the chemistry is so good. He did it at WrestleMania 3 with the little guys match, and it was hilarious. The one-liners he's firing off were so good. They were so good. And then he does the same thing here in the Battle Royal. He comes out right out of the gate, guns blazing, making fun of himself, too, with some of the things he was saying about first time I've ever had my contract renewed. Girl, they were great. I say that to people all the time still. That, and when Brett and and Bad News break up there, and he smashes the trophy. He goes, yeah, man, that's exactly why I didn't want to be the MVP right there. Everybody gets jealous about you when you win.
Yep.
Jesse, he goes, so that's why you hit 200, huh? You know, because, you make sure you stay out of that MVP running, guy. I mean, and then he's like, I got to get out of here. I got to go after Vanna White. That starts something throughout the entire show where he's trying to run down Vanna. And he goes, Uke, are you going to go after her vowels? And he goes, no, just a letter here or there. Like, I mean, come on, dude.
He's quick, and it's what made Jesse so good. These guys are quick, and they don't bury the person they're talking about. They're not afraid to kick it back on themselves, and Bob Uecker does that.
He does awesome, and he's throughout the whole show, and and then look at what these two dudes did right after this. They're in the commercials together. They're in the Miller Lite commercials after this. I mean, it was a perfect chemistry once again. He was made for wrestling. I mean, he was so perfect.
Yep.
And, once again, not to rip on other people, but I see some of these other shows. Again, these people have to be like 30 years old. They've got millions and millions of views. They don't even know who Vanna White is. Calling her wrong name the whole time.
How big she was.
They have no clue, and still is. They have no clue who Uecker is. They're like, who is this guy? What do I care about this guy? Like, what?
He's an idiot.
Perfect celebrity. Just fit wrestling. Let's move on now. We are in the top five reasons why it doesn't suck. What do you got at number 5?
And I put this right, and I'm going to kind of alter this. The final match, is it the greatest match that those two have ever had with any? No, but I don't think it's a bad match. It wasn't about the match, all the qualities. The matches work because they shuffle people in the right directions, Ryan. This tournament is about 4 dudes. That's it. Everybody else, you're just looking to see. So I think the matches, and especially the last one, I really like. I love Savage and I love DiBiase. I just think they're two of the greatest characters ever created in wrestling history.
Yep.
And the fact that those two, it's all underestimated, get to main event. DiBiase gets to main event of WrestleMania, and he dang well deserves it, Ryan. He is one of the greatest heels of all time. He might be the greatest creation of Vince McMahon of all time.
I've said it to you. I don't know if I've ever said it on here. Everybody loves The Undertaker, right? We don't. But
no.
The greatest gimmick of all time. No, the $1 Million Man is the greatest gimmick of all time. And I'll say that all day, every day, period. That's the greatest gimmick of all time.
Perfect time, too, in an era of the blue-collar, hard industrial guy pinching pennies to get by. You got this guy kicking basketballs away from a little kid.
Well, in the extra 80s, too, for what you just said, there was also the wealth, the spending, the lifestyles of the rich and famous and all that. And that was this guy.
Yep. And he treated people horribly. But again, I just think this match in general, I love watching these two work, but there are some decent matches on this card. Even matches, people are going to dog me. Herc and Warrior is not that bad for that era. It was a fun match for me.
I love the Warrior.
That's it. Again, I didn't want to see the Warrior do an acai, man. I didn't want to see it. I don't care. I want to see him pick people up and throw them.
Same with Herc.
Right.
His name is Hercules.
Hercules. Not jumps off the Titantron.
The cool thing too, the final match, it was cool, is Hulk Hogan was the champ for the last 4 years. And at this point, you're getting something different. You're getting, wait a minute, okay, we're getting a new champ now. Right. This is special. Okay, what's going to happen? So just the anticipation for it made it special as well.
The anticipation can make a match better than it's wrestled. If people really want it. Hogan Andre.
Nobody's going to say that's a Matt classic as far as the work goes, but you overlooked that because, oh my gosh, it's this guy against this guy. You completely overlooked that. And these are two really good workers, but it had everything, it had the build, like we said. You didn't know who was going to win. two new guys. What's going to happen? Then Andre's down there. Then Hulk comes to
Andre
even
arriving.
the score.
Andre
All of
walking down, Ryan, at the beginning. Remember, again, everybody, I wasn't 30. I'm freaking 9. Holy crap. Savage, and Jesse keeps bringing it up. It's Elizabeth versus Andre on the outside. And you're like, oh my, and you just watched DiBiase beat Savage a previous night on Saturday night's main event. Be it by count out, but I think Andre did play a role in that match.
Yep.
So
and he had Virgil too until Virgil got taken out.
Right.
By Hogan.
Good storytelling. That match, the ending match in general, and some of the other matches, there's number 5 for me, right?
Yeah, 2 of the greatest of all time there in the main event. How can you be mad about that? For life. All right, Nick, we're going to stay right there at the end of the show for number 4, another huge moment. It's been kind of downplayed through the years, but back then, and if you're a fan of the Mega Powers, the end of this night, the finish of the show, how cool is this, Nick? Number 4.
We had seen it before, right, Ryan? A couple of times, but this was still so cool. Macho Man is getting just I don't want to say pummeled the worst year, but he's getting interfered with. This is not going well. He can't get anything off. Andre keeps getting involved, and he sends Elizabeth out of here, Ryan. And Jesse, we've seen this before. Is he getting her out of here because he's scared? She leaves, and I'll tell you, Ryan, as a little kid, number 4, the finish. From the time she walks back through, and there's Hogan, and she leads him down, and he's doing the Hogan puff thing. He comes and sits down, and Ryan, I'm sorry, friend, you feel it like, okay, the odds are even, because you knew, like you said, this is a new champion is going to be crowned, right?
Yeah.
And DiBiase looked like he's going to take it, Ryan. Andre's doing all this. We just watched him, as I said before, beat Macho on a previous Saturday night's main event. And to have Hogan calm down, even the odds, from the moment he runs across and punches Andre in the head, and then he's like, if he can be here, I can be here. Hogan grabs that seat, and man, it is awesome. Because Savage goes for the elbow, misses the elbow, and DiBiase and how many guys, this wasn't like today where everybody kicked out of everybody's finisher.
5
or
times.
Everybody got out of every. He locks the dream in, man, and Savage is going out. Andre, for some reason, gets the referee's attention, and the Mega Power, Hulk Hogan comes in, smashes DiBiase on the back with the chair. Savage, I love when Savage is hurt, and he's staggering around.
Yeah, he's staggering around.
Nobody does it better than him. Jumps up on the top, hits the elbow drop, and then I'll let you take home why this finish, I know you like, is so absolutely amazing. Savage is in there, got Elizabeth up, Ryan, and
I mean, it's everything it should have been. Elizabeth was special because she was the only one. Like, NWA had a few girls here and there, but they weren't like Elizabeth.
Oh, hot.
She was special, and when he became a good guy, he used to push her around and everything.
Right.
Now it's all about her. He's opening up the ropes for her. He's doing all this for her. Picks the girl up, throws it up on the shoulder. We'd never seen anything like that before. And just the way everything in that building was. And Hogan is out there. And people can say what they want about Hogan, but he was the entire company for the last 4 years.
And he's
in there putting the other guy over. He keeps pointing to him. He hands him the belt. He points to the girl who's up on the shoulder. I mean, it just, like we said before, it seemed special because we'd never seen anything like this before. And if you were still on the fence about Mach, who had become a good guy, but he was over at this point.
Right.
Oh, now he's okay because Hogan said he was okay. That whole deal just felt huge. And I know there's some people, Hogan had to get in there and Hogan wouldn't let Macho have his moment and Hogan had to cheat to let Macho win.
Shut up, you fat
No. The whole thing makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. They screwed Hogan out of his belt. They then, because DiBiase cracked Hogan with the chair earlier in the night, then Hogan used it, double disqualification. They then screwed him from getting it back. Kept him from getting it back. So for him to blast DiBiase makes perfect sense. You screwed me twice. Now I'm getting you back. He's not the first good guy who's ever done anything like that. I mean, even Steven. Now, there we go. And now I'm getting the belt for my boy. Makes perfect sense. I thought it was great. It was awesome. It felt big. It was a moment.
Yep. And Ryan, for those people that say Hogan stole that, then good. You're on the side of Savage. That is what they're going to play into, Ryan, that he's getting jealous. WrestleMania 4's finish can be piggybacked on everything else that happens. The look at SummerSlam, or the touch or the hand around. You can say, okay, so you think he stole his spotlight. Good. That's the angle, Ryan. That is one of the greatest things I think about the Mega Powers angle and why it is so great is because there are two sides. It's not, you can't just say, oh, well, it was all macho. You know what? As you get older, you start to look at it and say, yeah, maybe I wouldn't want my best buddy cupping my girl's butt. Maybe
I would, but probably not.
Probably not. I'm not into that guy. And also, it is when he comes out a lot, Hogan's with him. And you know what? Hogan was right when that's what the madness was never quite as big as the mania. You can see why Savage is mad.
Yes. Because he can say you stole my spotlight. Yeah. No, it makes perfect sense.
What was he supposed to do?
Think about it.
After he won and walk away?
See you, buddy. Yeah. No, and it's great. And again, it's one of those moments you see through the years. And now that we're at the 40th year of Mania, you'd think we're going to see some WrestleMania 4, the very end, Hogan pointing it. You think we're going to see Macho picking her up? We're going to see that. There's going to be recap packages and nostalgia packages, and we're going to see exactly that shot a bunch of times. What a moment, man. I mean, it is the moment of the pay-per-view of the night.
And it completely legitimizes Savage as the top dude.
Yep. And then Hogan leaves. And that's the whole reason we had this tournament, was because Hogan was going to make a movie. Number 3, reason why WrestleMania 4 does not suck.
Ryan, the tournament's vastly underrated. When people say, it's filled with guys who couldn't win, who are the guys we're missing? Are you talking about, Paul Orndorff or something? Who's not on this card in this tournament sitting in the back that you're pointing to? And when you look at the card, the problem is the same as today with Roman Reigns. If you had a tournament for a vacated title, it's not everybody's a 10. Not everybody's everybody. Survivor Series 98. Really? Is that tournament you thought Jarrett was going to take that, or the Boss Man was going to take that, or the X-Pac, or whoever? I mean, come on.
People weren't even happy that The Rock won. They thought he wasn't ready.
Right. This one, Ryan, I can go down the list. Jim Duggan. The guy is a legend.
He was the
as
top
far as
baby
gimmick.
Face in Mid-South before he came in.
In '88, he's as big as he is in the WWE ever. Yep. I don't know that there's. DiBiase,
biggest guy in Mid-South when he came in.
Number 1 heel in the company. Don Morocco. He's
been huge.
IC champ. Yeah, I get it. He's on the babyface turn. They also got Graham outside, though, managing. A legend in it, another legend there. I know Bravo. I never was a Bravo guy. But
big in Canada, though.
He was the dude in the area that he came from. He was the main dude, in his territory. Valentine, 2 years previous, Ryan, who's the IC champ at WrestleMania? Greg Valentine.
Yeah, 1985, yeah. The tag champ after that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, the tag champ, IC champ, famous dog collar match before then. Greg Valentine, people, is not a chump out there. This dude's a freaking name.
All-time guy.
Steamboat just won the IC belt a year ago in what people say is one of the greatest matches of all time. And he's on the card. No, we didn't get Savage Steamboat because they didn't do things like that back then, face versus face. But he's still a name. And Ryan, the next year, 89, I think Steamboat has a decent...
Wins the world title.
Okay. Butch Reed, again.
Huge in Mid-South.
Won at WrestleMania 3, coming off of a huge feud with the JYD that summer. And yeah, he's huge as well as big. Macho is over. Bam Bam and the Gang. The Gang
was the Mid-South world champion.
Bam Bam's pretty athletic for his size. You know, I'm not saying the matches were all amazing. I'm just crediting that people underestimate Jake the Snake and Rick Rude. Two dudes who are pretty famous gimmicks. I mean, if I say, my mom knows who Jake the Snake is, man. Like, everybody knows Jake the Snake. I mean, Ravishing Rick. You know, this was a very good named tournament. Go down the road, any tournament in the WWE that's had 8, 12, 16 people, this is a made-up fantasy that all 12, 16 were grade A guys, and all of them had a chance at the title.
When you can do that, look at the Royal Rumble. I mean, every year you pretty much know one guy is going to win. If you do get 2, 3, 4, which maybe we had this year, right? Well, now we got the greatest Rumble ever. The other 26 guys, you know they're not winning. I mean, come on. So, yeah, we knew it was Hogan, Andre, DiBiase, and maybe Macho, and that was it.
And maybe you did have a few guys that legit thought Steamboat might come out of nowhere. Yeah. We wanted to see those 4 dudes finish the story.
And that's what the story was. Yeah. There was no story with the other guys. This was Hogan got screwed by these other guys. What's he going to do about it?
Vastly underrated tournament competitors, I think. People are way too hard on them. These are all, and because if you talk about them, again, outside the premise of WrestleMania 4, oh yeah, Hacksaw, cool, great. Jake the Snake, cool, great. Yeah. Ravishing Rick Rude, cool, great. Bam Bam, cool, great. At WrestleMania 4, no, they all suck.
Yeah, that's a great point.
They're all
That's a great point. Yeah, I agree. The tournament is not as bad. Again, maybe the finishes and things like that people didn't like, but you can't sit here and tell me that wasn't a loaded show. You had top guys, not just guys, top guys from every single territory in the country in that tournament. Number 2, what is the second reason this show doesn't suck, Nick?
The look, the royalty. The carpet rolling down there. I know the wrestlers apparently hated it, but I loved it as a kid. It felt royal. It felt VIP. Like this was a happening.
It is a happening.
Sorry, everybody. It just, again, you went up. How do you top 93,000? You can't, man. Right. Like, you're not going to go to another stadium and try to sell to me that 70,000 because it wouldn't have mattered. Make it inclusive. Make it just small, nice, important. You gotta be somebody to get a ticket, and that's what I thought.
Which apparently you did.
Yeah, yes.
They gave all the tickets to the VIPs, but
to the VIPs, and the purple banners were super cool, and the way it kind of shot and looked up. Ryan, you could have told me maybe 30, 45,000 were in there, and I would have believed
it was way bigger than what it was.
Me too. I did not realize, because I didn't pay attention to stuff as a kid. I mean, apparently everybody did, according to new reports.
Well, we all had our iPhones in '88.
Right.
We were just looking it up.
Checking dirt sheets and
everything.
We're
on WrestleTix.com and looking to see,
Yes, off of my routery phone. It's just... But again, I thought it looked awesome. I didn't know, like I said, till like mid-90s. I think probably was you or Jack that told me, yeah, dude, there's like 20,000 in there. I'm like,
if that, yeah.
Yeah, if that, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's great. And that was one of the very first things, and it stands out till this day. The whole thing was wrapped in the banners that we have not seen really like that. Maybe at 22 when they had the wrestlers' pictures all the way around. We've never seen like the whole building wrapped like this was. They had the giant WrestleMania banners over the entrance and over on the other side where Jesse and them were sitting. You would have no idea if you look at Assembly Hall or whatever it's called, Boardwalk Hall. if you look at that and then put it side by side with a picture of WrestleMania 4, you won't believe it's the same building. You will not absolutely believe it's the same building. The way they were coming out from the stage, where the stage is at, where they have Miss America and all this. You never would have known that's a stage with the way all the banners were everywhere. You know, it was awesome. Like you said, the carpet, the way it was shot, especially at the beginning, you got the roof. They had the roof all lit up and the Christmas lights hanging from it, and the lights were changing on the roof. You know, Atlantic City was huge at that point. Mike Tyson was fighting there all the time in that building. So it was a big place for fights. And, you know, back then it was the East Coast Las Vegas. And they did. A lot of people say they hate this show because it was all free tickets to VIPs. It's a sold show. I never saw that. I mean, I guess maybe, it's not as crazy as when Hogan slammed Andre, like the place. You can't redo acting that, like people are asleep, and I didn't think they were asleep. I mean, okay, is it the most raucous crowd I've ever seen? No, but I didn't think they were asleep.
No, that's like 12 and 13. Like,
yeah. Yeah, I didn't think that at all. No, the look of this is awesome. And, you know, nowadays with the stages and the LED, everything, and the fireworks, maybe it doesn't stand up for that time, though. I'll put this up there with looking as good as any Mania
we've said
ever.
This. That's what you said. We've said this, Ryan. You can compare WrestleMania 4 against the look of it against Starrcade 88 or, you know, or something from that era. No, you don't. From that era, don't put WrestleMania 4 up against WrestleMania 30 in the look. I mean, it's not, you know, you're the same person that's going to say, Star Wars A New Hope, man, the CGI
doesn't look as good.
Yeah, to the Revenge of the Sith is just terrible. I would hope so.
Yeah.
I would hope so. It's decades later.
No, I think that's a great point that people don't look at whatsoever. Look at WrestleMania 4, and then because there was the very first Clash of the Champions on at the very same time, look at that clash. See what that looked like compared to 4. Now, if you want to say the Sting Flair match was better than anything on 4, okay, I'll let you do that. But like, look at this. It looks like it's something to behold here. I think it really does, and I think it holds up. Still,
I do too.
I like it.
I think it looks great.
All right, Nick. The number one reason why this show doesn't suck, and we probably could have done an hour just on this here.
Yeah.
And it's been tough to not say it throughout the entire time.
And
but why is this show so special, Nick?
And it's not, and this is why it's hard probably for people today, because this happens twice a week now, probably. Because it's for the title, Ryan. The
title is vacant.
We're big. Yes, the title is on the line, man. And it, you know, people give 98 Survivor Series all this credit. We had seen the titles before get stripped, people quit. You know, we had not seen this before, and there was a legit and real good reason the title was being held up. This controversy was awesome with the fake referees and the Andre Hogan shoulder controversy and everything. It's for the world title. We had never seen a tournament like this before.
No, we've never seen a tournament at all. I mean, the title had never been vacant since 1963. And you said it happens all the time now. Like every couple years, they have a tournament or a battle royal, or it's in the Royal Rumble or something.
Right.
It never happened before. That's a big deal, man. You got to put yourself in that, and you can't do it anymore, especially if you're like not our age. The way that felt, like, oh my gosh.
Sure.
Think
about
this. I can't miss this.
Think about the first time someone slam dunked a basketball.
Right.
Like, to me and you, it's probably, you know, we see slam dunks all the time, and they're great. They're cool.
In junior high.
The first time, like, someone maybe just really threw it down on national television, and I mean, obviously difference and whatnot, but this is the first time. We've never seen this up for grabs before, man.
Who is going to win? They've already screwed Hogan once. Are they going to screw him again? Or is somebody else going to come out of nowhere and win this? Can Hogan get his revenge? you couldn't miss it. You couldn't
covers
tape
up that
it back then because there was no Peacock where you could start watching an hour late and then roll through the thing. No, you had to be sitting right there on March 24th, 1988, at whatever time it started, 4 PM, and you had to be parked right there, and you had to give them your $40 to watch this thing.
Yeah, the next
and
time
you didn't want to
out,
wait until it came out on VHS.
A month later, to VHS tape, a month or two later, you
didn't want to wait. You had to know, man.
And that for the title, as bad as the Hogan Andre match is, how cool was it? Like, they both went out, and you're like, whoa, wait a minute. So neither one of those dudes can win the belt.
Yes.
Now
that's huge.
We got a situation. We're going to see a new world champion. And again, people today, because you got 45 belts, 17 world titles. Everybody's held the belt. Everybody's had a dance with it. People are chanting, "You deserve it," after you've been in the industry for 4 years. This. Holy smokes, man. Somebody new is taking this home. It's for the most prestigious title. That is why WrestleMania 4 isn't a stinker pay-per-view. You gotta watch it for the time it was in and not compare it with today, man.
I think you just made maybe the best point about that. You had Hogan for 4 years. You had Bruno for 8 years. You had Bob for 5 years. Now, until Roman, that belt's just getting passed around left and right. And you had a million different companies again. And you had in WWE too, but like in AEW, where you have 8 belts and you got ROH belts and you got 2 6-man belts. Now you have 2 world champs. This was it. This was the only one. And not everybody got it because the other guys all had it for at least. Hogan was the shortest champ at 4 years. It was important, man. It was important, and you can't replicate that today at all. You just can't. And one night to prove it. Not, hey, we're gonna have a tournament every other week for the next 2 months. No, you got one night, man. You better bring it tonight.
Don't sing it. Bring it.
But the winner's got to go 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
4 times.
Yep.
I just think it's an awesome run, and I think Savage wins differently in every match. I know he does hit 2 elbows, but there's a difference in the way I think they all finish. It's just a wonderful tournament. I thought, yes, could some of the matches been, but again, yes, if WrestleMania 4 was booked in 2024 with those same participants, it's a million times better. The matches are longer. The finishes are probably done differently. But again, look at these names. Look at these competitors. Look at the look of the arena. The fact that it's for the world title. The commentary's building it up. The best battle royal in WrestleMania history. The legendary Demos title run. Bob Uecker, maybe the greatest celebrity. Ryan, this WrestleMania gets crapped on, and it doesn't suck as bad.
I can understand why it might be tough to watch now, but
Sure.
I also am not going back and watching the 1978 NBA Finals. I don't give a crap about Bobby Dandridge and Wes Unseld in the Washington Wizards Bullets from 1978. It's not the same kind of ball. I'm not as excited about it.
Right.
But I don't take anything away from that.
Ryan, you're not going to sit here and tell me Wilt Chamberlain sucks. You're not going to sit here and tell me that the Celtics run doesn't. Oh, they played against other plumbers.
Yeah.
You're not going to sit here and I'm not going to sit here and make some stupid comment that I could strike out Babe Ruth today, or something like that.
You said it. You judge the era against the era and the greatness of that era.
And it's the birth of the greatest story. Still, to me, to this day, the greatest story in the history of the WWE. I mean,
you keep talking about the start of Demolition. They had started a hair before this, but this is really, the takeoff of the Mega Powers.
Ryan, when you say that, so many takeoff of the Hitman, the takeoff of Bad News, the jetpack is put on Savage. The Warrior. This is a big win for the Ultimate Warrior, man. He ripped a chain.
We appreciate all you guys watching. If you could, please hit like, please hit subscribe. And if you want, give us the 10 reasons why we do suck in the comments. If you're not happy with what we just said. Or why
you hate for.
Yeah, or why you hate for. If you have any other the things that we did talk about, because I understand it a little bit, but I wouldn't go as far as everybody else did. So if you have something to say about it, please do that, man. It helps other people see our content. And we just appreciate you guys watching anyways. Appreciate it as always, Nick.
Peace.
All right. Till next time. Job, guys. Out.
You smell something, it's us. Because we're the stuff.